Hey guys, we're now back with defender Dan Lovitz. We'll go straight into questions again. We have time for one each with Dan. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, Dan, curious just for your overall thoughts on the game. I think probably a point in Dallas is a good result on its own, but just how did you see that play out? And I guess are you satisfied with the final result?
One of those tricky ones. Obviously, the game script changed significantly late in the second half, but I think, look, we play to win every game, regardless if we're home or away. And I think that we're good enough to come to these types of places and play like ourselves and get 3 points. But all that being said, second week into the season, two teams that were coming off of a win and had a lot of energy in the game. It wasn't the cleanest, it wasn't the prettiest, very combative, and that was sort of reflected in the flow of the game, and how things transpired in the second half. So collectively, we're happy, all things considered, to keep a clean sheet. As a defender, that's me talking, but I know some of our guys up top are disappointed to stay off the score sheet, and I like that they feel that way. And we'll look to tweak things and move forward into a new week.
We'll go to Jacob.
Yeah. Dan, coming off of three games to open the season where you outscore opponents 11-1, two games where, you scored 9 goals over your last two games. I guess what does it do for the team to go into a road environment and, kind of have to struggle maybe a little bit more to, score, find opportunities and, be in a tight game to the end?
Sure. I think it goes without saying that, each game represents a new set of opportunities and challenges pertaining to how we play, specifically how we look to hurt the opponent and score. We had great success across two legs against an Ottawa team, but we understand that endless competition can represent a little bit of a different animal, and knowing that it's going to take a little bit more quality and more precision to pick the lock sometimes, especially in a team that's very well organized like Dallas and plays with a ton of energy. So, like I said, I think we'll obviously be able to look back and find things we could have done better. That being said, I think we still had enough, going forward in certain moments where we were able to expose some of the risks they were taking positionally and counter and look to create some good chances. I think, like I said, guys can put those away sometimes, and we're talking about a different game. But all things considered, happy with how the collective group worked, how the guys came in off the bench and were able to raise the level and make sure that we're able to, at the very least, see a point.
Claudio?
Dan, is it fair to say that this is the toughest team you faced, this short season so far because of what they bring to the table?
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, a small sample size as it pertains to this year in the MLS campaign. But yeah, look, like I said, they're coming off their first home opener, the win. They're feeling good, feeling confident. They play with a lot of energy, and they're very clear on what they're trying to do. So they had every reason to be confident and to throw a ton of energy towards us, and we were able to match it. They take a lot of pride in being able to start games really well, and I thought that we matched that and were able to pose them some problems as well. But certainly, and look, that's the process of getting our rhythm in the season. There's going to be different competitions. We're lucky to have that problem, being able to move through weeks where we have multiple games and understand that each one's going to represent something different. But for sure, this was a very organized, intense team. But so are we. And I think that a point was about right.
Nick?
Dan, defensively, BJ Callahan mentioned how he expects out a lot of you guys defensively just to, rise to the occasion. For you, I guess, tactically, what difficulties did Dallas pose to you specifically in this game?
I felt like they had an NBA player playing wingback. I haven't seen a guy that tall playing wingback for one. So that was an exciting challenge. But it's fun. That's what, I take a lot of enjoyment and pride in going up against a lot of talented players that, represent a ton of different profiles and how they go about their business. So each game representing a new challenge is really what I think a lot of us take pride on, being able to adapt our game to take away what they're good at and, be able to keep them off the score sheet and make sure that they're frustrated at the end of the night. And so for the most part, I think we did a good job doing that. But, we demand a lot of each other. We demand a lot of ourselves. I know BJ demands a lot of us, and, that's what makes teams good defensively. And, we have guys up top that defend just as hard with as much detail and honor and passion for the defensive side. And I think a lot of those moments you saw tonight lead to really great chances in transition. So it's a collective effort, but, obviously one that as defenders, we as a group take a lot of pride in. And, they offered us something different that now we have under our belts as an experience to carry with us throughout the season.
Will Arrow, last question.
Yeah, Dan, just with the new shape, it looked like a little different than when you guys played against New England with a 3 center mids. How does that change? What do you have to do, or does it change what you have to do at all?
Yeah, again, each game represents something different. I think one of the strengths of this group is our adaptability. Understanding that we have a lot of guys that have a lot of versatility and a lot of ability to fill different spots and different roles. From game to game and even from half to half. I think we do a very good job of knowing the nuance of each opponent and what we can do to better exploit some opportunities and to sort of fix things that are giving us a little bit of trouble. So I think that is a big strength of the group as it pertains to, myself and other guys that I'm playing next to. We communicate very well, and I think that helps seal the gaps and make sure that we're as efficient in just navigating each moment of the game. Is it perfect? Of course not. It never is, but we try to do it at as high a level as possible. And I think where we are right now, 2 games into the MLS campaign and, advancing through the first round of, a CONCACAF tournament, I think is a pretty good spot that we're in. We're not satisfied by any means. There's a lot of stuff we could have done better tonight. But like I said, a point is a point. It's against a Western Conference team that we're not going to see again. But it was a very good experience for the group.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.